Hey everybody, Marcos Villegas here, being joined with David Avila of The Sweet Science. And today we're going to be going over our picks for the 2014 Fighter of the Year. And I know this year in boxing, David, there's a lot of people that emerge as potential stars in boxing, and really a lot of fighters as well that weren't really well known, but made their presence dominant in their weight divisions and moving up as well. I know a lot of people for this year picked Terence Crawford, picked Sergey Kovalev, but in speaking with you earlier, you have someone different in mind for your Fighter of the Year honors.
Yeah, I like the little guy, Romana Chocolatito Gonzalez of Nicaragua. I think what he did moving up a division after conquering the junior flies, now he's conquering the flyweights, and he had 4 knockouts in the year. All of them were abroad in Japan, and one was in Mexico. I thought that was pretty impressive to me.
You know, I like that you mentioned someone like Chocolatito, because Chocolatito, given his weight class and the history of those lower weight fighters, they don't get a lot of attention. And me, when I was looking over this list as well, I had him actually as one of the top guys. I couldn't really choose between Kovalev, Crawford, or Chocolatito as to who should get the honors. For you, what do you feel was his defining moment in 2014?
I felt that when he knocked out the 3 Japanese in Japan. That's pretty hard to do. I mean, those guys are tough, and to me, he kind of reminds me of Benito Lopez of Mexico, the last fighter to retire undefeated, never having lost. Actually, I take that back. Calzaghe did too.
Yeah, but Finito, I think, fought a lot more high caliber competition than Calzaghe. Nothing against Calzaghe. He fought the guys he was supposed to, but later on in his career. I actually went ahead and picked Terence Crawford for my 2014 Fighter of the Year. And initially, I didn't think he would be my choice for Fighter of the Year. I was kind of leaning towards Sergey Kovalev, given his conquest of Bernard Hopkins, a feat that's in itself could get any fighter a Fighter of the Year honors, given what Hopkins has been doing to fighters in that division. But I went ahead and picked Crawford for a few reasons. When I went ahead and compared who won matchups in 2014 as compared to who Crawford fought, who Kovalev fought, and who Chocolatito fought, I felt that in the long run, Crawford went ahead and fought higher level competition than the other 2 fighters that I mentioned. He went ahead and went to Ricky Burns' home in Wales and fought him and beat him for his title, and he was a world champion. Then he went ahead and fought Yurikas Gamboa, who was a champion in the prior weight class, who moved up, who was undefeated and was losing that fight. And I don't think he was even favored in that fight, Crawford was. And he went ahead and beat him in his hometown, which you could see is kind of like a minus towards him. And then he finished the year and faced the #1 contender in his division, who a lot of people felt was the world champion as well in that division, in Raimundo Beltran. So those 3 things put together kind of, in a way, validated everyone else's responses as to who they felt their 2014 Fighter of the Year was. But Sergey Kovalev made a strong push and case as well for being Fighter of the Year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he is the only guy that Bernard Hopkins would probably admit losing. I mean, he had other losses, but he never felt he lost those fights. But he couldn't argue against Kovalev. You
know what was amazing about that fight was Kovalev came in as the underdog, and he's the younger guy, harder hitting punching guy, and he outboxed a boxing master, someone who is extremely hard to face in the ring, and someone really who makes you look extremely bad in the ring.
Exactly. Bernard is a master.
Now, looking at Chocolatito, what do you feel will make him more widespread known? Because I know, Fighter of the Year honors is really deserving of the 3 that we listed, but Chocolatito knocked out all of the opponents that he had this year, and he did it in really dominant fashion. So what does he need to do to get that acceptance from not just hardcore boxing fans, but just overall boxing fans?
Well, he has an impossible mission because he's fighting at the 2nd, 3rd lightest weight division, and nobody knows those guys. And he may have beaten 3 of the top guys, but America doesn't know him. They don't know him at all. The only guy he beat of any recognition was a year ago, and that was Estrada of Mexico. And he may fight him again this next year. And if that happens, then he'll probably get his recognition.
Well, I certainly hope so, Chocolatito being a fighter's fighter and one of those secrets in boxing where boxing fans look at him and they say, you know what, this is my secret. I know this guy, and none of you guys know who this guy is, but I like that because I get so much joy in seeing Chocolatito fight. But to recap, David Avila of the Sweet Science picking Roman Gonzalez Chocolatito as his 2014 Fighter of the Year, and me, of course, picking Terence Crawford for the 2014 Fighter of the Year. And we're going to look towards this 2015 and see what those two fighters do, and everybody else in boxing to see who will get the 2015 Fighter of the Year. For now, this is Marcos Villegas for the Boxing Channel, thanking you all for watching.